Hey guys, and welcome to another round of racing. We are at Imola. This is FRL Formula Racing League Multi-Class Thursday GT2 M2 round 4 at Imola. This track consists of 22 laps and should bring us some entertaining racing, especially down into turn 1 at the start. That should be fun. So, with the M2 cars, there will be 13 races on track. 14 races, sorry, on 13 races on track, which is Gaiman, Keller, Hegarty, Brown, Munster, Sebastian, Pacasia, Pospisil, Sloot, Monweg, Cussat, Micheletti, and Surfite Team, and you will have Supernatural jumping in as well. And in the GT2 cars, we will have 17 racers with Gibino, Tamburini, Barnett, Wheats, Nicky, Smets, A Sharp, Gedman, Harvey, Lino, Volkman, Pustanelli, Brocken, Talak, Els, Lippi, Taka, Machado, and Galing. So the drivers for the GT2 cars, where the car coming out on track first will be Munster with the M2 class. They have 10 minutes to do their qualifying. Soon as it's 10 minutes, the GT2 cars are allowed to come out on track. They will be a lot quicker, so if the M2 car is on a hot lap, they must stay behind and not put pressure on the M2 car until the cars finish their lap, and they're entitled to go for it then as well. But apart from that, we'll just have a look to see who is out on track at the moment with the M2 cars. The M2 cars will be the ones in the red square, and the GT2 cars will be in the white square. If you see a red corner, a little bit of red on the corner, that will be the Ferrari Challengers. They are in with the GT2 car championships. Oh, sorry. As we just jump on board with Munster. Munster is now coming up to turn 17. Quite an heavy braking zone. Turn left. Turn 18. Rivazza. He comes out to the final corner. We just stick on board with him. As I believe he will set the benchmark for the rest of the cars behind. As he's coming down out of turn 1, down into turn 2. Tamburello. Approaching turns 5 and 6 into the Villeneuve. Plenty of overtaking opportunities down into turn 7. Drag race up the hill. A slight turn 8. This can bring some overtaking opportunities. Flat out turn 10 down it. Turns 11 done the Minerali. He's coming down into the chicane. In the Brand. As he starts coming down It's turn 16 to 17. Hard braking. Turn 18. It's not even the final corner, turn 19. A slight turn there, turn 20. Another slight right, flat out, turn 22. And that is the 22 laps around Imola. He's hit a 156.8. So let's see if you can jump on some of the other cars coming across the line, as Kazovic is your next racer across, who comes across the line in third at the moment. And some of the times start coming in. Try and find a car who hasn't set the time, not too far. We've got 5 cars set in times at the moment. Can Pakassia do anything about that? Comes across the line in 5th. I can't do, I'm sorry, I haven't got the buttons to change all the camera angles and due to get one either next week or the week after. So I can have better camera angles. I do like the heli-cam view. Makes racing a lot better. As we just jump on board with Sebastian coming across the line. As he set the time, he has set the time. Mattavelli, it'll be the next one. Jumps up into 7th. With some of the cars coming through the chicane, the Brant. It's coming down into the tricky braking zone, especially when you're racing other cars. Turn 18. Is there any changes to any of the times? Gaiman currently in 2nd. Piccanello stays there. And Gaiman close the gap on Munster up in front. Piccanello goes in 2nd. Cossette goes in 2nd. Takes Piccanello out of the equation. Gaiman drops down with Keller coming across the line in 4th. It's the next car across the line with Micheletti. Can he find his way up on the board? Across the line comes 4th. Egati, what can he do? Can he improve in his time? He stays in 9th. We've got Brown crossing the line. Can he get up on the board? I don't know who that was. I believe it was Sloot coming up into 2nd place. Brown isn't up on the board as yet, so he might be on a hot lap now. So all the cars have set times. Mattavelli is the next car. What can he do? Stays where he is. So Munster, can he further the gap on the cars behind? The top 3 just closed by half a second. So Munster stays where he is. Can Cossette put a bit more pressure on Munster? As he crosses the line, he doesn't improve. Gaiman stays in 8th. Kazovic coming across the line. Can he get up on the board? The Munster still up on top spot. The Sloot is 2nd. Cossette in the third, split by half a second. Micheletti coming across the line, currently in fourth. Stays where he is. In 10th, Pospisil, can he gain anything? He stays in 7th also. So the car, Pacasia, stays where he is as well. Just jump on board with some of the cars where they are on the track before we jump on board with Munster. Just 0.4 a second. Can he put more pressure on the cars behind? He's going to do another lap by the looks of it. Of course, that comes into the pit. Gamer not too far behind. He's going on for another one. He's currently in 8th. He jumped up into 4th. Kella's into the pits, trying to jump on board some of the other ones. Kazovic. He's currently in 9th, crosses the line, stays where he is. Micheletti is the next one across the line. He stays out. What can he do? As the GT2 cars are all out, I believe. He jumps up into 3rd place. Haggerty coming into the pit. And Pospisil, foot flat. Crosses the line. In 2nd. Gets up into 2nd place. Sebastian coming into the pit, and I think that's Mattavelli will be the last of the M2 cars, I believe. Oh, no, there's still some cars out on track. So Mattavelli currently in 13th, jumps up into 11th. I don't know if Munster was on a hot lap then. I couldn't remember if he had come across the line under the 10 minutes or over the 10 minutes. The Surfing team didn't make a time, so we just jump on board with some of the GT2 cars out on track. Let me have a look to see. It's not sharp. Just try. So 79, I think, is the lead car of the GT2 cars. Gedman. There's 7.5 minutes left. I'm assuming he should be on a hot lap. His foot is flat. He's not slowing down for the cars behind. So he's going to set the time for the cars behind. I'm not sure if I was an invalid lap or he's okay, but he keeps his foot flat. At the Minerali coming out of it now. The chicane turns 14 to 15, Netherlands. So it looks like he's gonna let one of the Audis by. Might be not Thacker, not Sharp. No Barnett. Not sure. A car coming across the line now. I think Machado. He's going to set the benchmark for the rest of the field. If you jump on board with some of the cars coming across the line, and they'll get up on top of the leaderboard. The time's coming in now, so who set benchmark? Machado set the benchmark with a 141.4. Barnett in second, and Thacker in third. Jabino fourth. Pushtali in fifth. Nicky sixth. Smith 7 so far. Tambrini 8. Talak in ninth. Some more guys coming in over the line now. Let's just jump on board to the next one. Brocken, as he comes across the line, where can he get on the table? In 10th. So Machado will lead the way for the rest of the GT2 cars following behind. So if he can improve, it'll be a little bit more difficult for the cars behind. Just jump on board with some of the other cars around the track. As Machado now foot flat down the start finish straight. Does he improve in his time? Stays there. Nicky coming across the line. Jumps up into second place. That's a good lap from him. So there's a couple of cars improving on their time. Pushtali jumping up into second. And Gedman crossing the line now. And still to set the time is Gedman out on track, or Harvey still in the pits. So Sharp is gonna be the next one across the line. Can he improve from 12th? Stays where he is. Brocken jumps up into 11th. So Nicky in second. Let's have a look. So Smets is followed by a couple of other cars. Thaco and Jabino, it looks like. No doubt these will be racing each other from start to finish. We normally have the battles during the race. We got Tom. So Machado are coming across the line next. So the 141.4. Stays where he is. Next across the line is Nicky. Improves, stays where he is though. Nathaka currently in 9th, up into 4th. So the cars are improving and coming across the line, improving on their times. The board is changing slightly with Barnack in second, Talak into 3rd, back and 4th. Machado still out in front with just under 2.5 minutes left to go. So Talak close the gap on Barnack and Machado in front. Stays where he is. Sharp crosses the line in second. Brocken is the next one. Stays where he is. Harvey has just made it out on track. Oh, gotta make this count if he can. No, I don't think he'll do another lap, so he needs to make this one count. So Tambrini is the car behind him, who will have time to do another lap. Currently in 13th, where can he cross the line? Stays in 13th with Machado, the next car, with a 1.141.4. Stays where he is. Nicky's still got time to do another lap. These other cars coming across the line now. They've got one more to do. Whoops. This 11th. Gibino. The guys out on track now still have time. I think car 37 coming across the line will have enough time to do another lap. As Lino jumps up. Thacker. A couple of changes on the board. Currently in 5th spot. Improves in his time but stays where he is. Sharp. He's the closest one to Machado, but at the moment stays where he is. Currently in 12th. Can he improve? Doesn't. So I believe Harvey will be the next car across the line. So the cars coming across the line now are either on a hot lap or they're just bringing it in. Time is up. So these laps count with Harvey jumping up into 12th. And some of the so coming the other cars coming across the line. Machado coming in first. Still on provisional pole at the moment with Nicky. The next car across the line. Stays where he is. Thacker, can he improve? Jumps up one, knocking Lino down. Pushkali coming into the pit. Gedman coming across the line. In 15th, can he jump up a few spots? Stays where he is. Tulloch, the next Scotsman across the line. Jumps up into 2nd place, so the car still out on track is broken. As he comes around turn 19. Can he improve in his time? The final car crossing the line now in 13th. Right then guys, we'll take it to the timetable now. So, the fastest out of the GT2 cars, Machado on the fastest pole sitter. Tulloch in 2nd, Machado in 3rd, Barnett in 4th, Bushtelly in 5th, Thacker in 6th, Lino in 7th, Nicky in 8th, Gibino 9th, Bogetto 10th, Smets in 11th, Harvey in 12th, Brockton 13th, Tamburini in 14th, Gedman in 15th. That is the GT2 cars. So Munster is your pole sitter out of the M2 cars, with Pospisil in 2nd, Sloot in 3rd, Micheletti in 4th, Cossat in 5th, Gedman in 6th, Picanello in 7th, Brown in 8th, Keller in 9th, Kazovic in 10th, Matavelli in 11th, Agadi in 12th, Sebastian in 13th, Pacasia in 14th, Litti in 15th, Serpentine in 16th, and they are your M2 cars out on track. As we just wait for the countdown now for the I believe it's a formation lap. The race is sponsored by Ashley Gunning Down Under. Thank you very much. He's your sponsor for the season. The race is a 45-minute race. It is a mandatory stop for fuel, which is 25 seconds. If you want to change tyres, it'll be 30 seconds, and it's up to you if you wanted to fix your damage. If you accumulate any, but that's up to you. Tyre change is optional, but you must come in for fuel, which is a fixed fueling for 25 seconds. So I'll just take you through the standings for the GT2 class. With Machado on top spot with 41 points. picking up a race win again last week with Tulloch in second with 41 points. Sharp is in third with 34 points, picking up a podium spot last week with Harvey in fourth on 32. Jabino's in fifth on 31 points. Barnett is in sixth on 31 points. Seventh is Nicky on 31. Smets is in eighth on 30. Volkman in ninth on 29 points. Lino is in 10th on 28 points. Muller in 11th, 24 points. Bustuli 12th with 23 points. 13th is Thacker with 22 points. Jack Prentice is in 14th with 18 points. Tamburini in 15th with 17 points. In 16th spot is Gerling with 14 points. Gedman in 17th with 13 points. Trotman in 18th, 13 points. 19th is Brocken, 13 points. Bogetto is in 20th with 10, and Litty, Marshall and Els still need to pick up points. So I'll take you through the M2 championship standings at the stunt. So you have Munster on top spot, picking up a race win last week as well, 42 points. Pospisil is in second, picking up a podium spot last week with 35 points. Kazovic is in third, picking up a third spot. Podium, rounding up the top three with 34 points, with Keller in fourth on 33. Fifth you have Slutz on 31 points. Sixth is Haggerty, 31 points. Brown is in seventh with 30 points. Piccanello is in eighth spot with 30 points. Micheletti is in ninth spot with 28 points. Mattavelli is in 10th spot with 26 points. Serfontein is in the 11th spot with 24 points. Joint spot, joint with Gaiman in 12th with 24 points. Morweg 13th with 21 points. Pacasia 14th with 19 points. Cossat is in 15th with 18 points. Randy, that's Beach's brother, I believe, who's Nicky racing in GT2. Randy's in 16th spot with 17 points. Joint with him with Sebastian in 17th. McCrae is in 18th with 12. Supernatural is in 19th with 3. And that is the champion standings as it stands at the moment.
20 seconds.
After 3 rounds. So, last week was very eventful and fun at Valencia. So, we have 22 laps here at Imola. It looks like it's going to be a dry race. Machado is going to lead the way for the GT2 cars. Munster is going to lead the way for the M2 cars. Not too far behind. The racing should be very, very entertaining. There's plenty of overtaking opportunities on this race course. So, as we just watch all the cars, just see them all pulling away. Good sound. I like that sound. Loads of engines. Just jump on board with Machado. Coming out of the Villeneuve. Plenty of overtaking opportunities here, especially the M2 cars. BMW M2 cars on track as well. It's quite a wide track, so you could get 3, definitely 2. Side by side. Oh, it's coming down to Minerali. It's going to be a tricky spot, especially with two different classes fighting for position coming down here. It's good for overtaking, but some of the corners you can only fit one car. Sometimes, who knows? So this race will be a 45-minute race with a mandatory pit stop, fixed fueling, 25 seconds, going to change your tyres, 30 seconds, accumulate any damage, up to you if you want to repair or not. This race is sponsored by Ashley Gunning Down Under. Thank you very much, appreciate that. He's the sponsor for the rest of the season. This is FRL Formula Racing League multi-class on a Thursday, GT2 and M2 at Imola, round 4. This is going to be a good one, as the 3 before it. This Munster is the lead car for the M2s. To jump on board with Machado for whoever's in lead for the first lap, because telemetry will be bouncing. So after the first lap I'll have a look around, see what else is going on, but as of positions will have to be after the first lap. But here we go.
Green light, give us all you can.
And we're off. As you're coming down into turn 2, Tamburello. Car survive. Looks like everybody's through. Machado is leading the way for the GT2 car still. Oh, as the telemetry is going nuts. To jump on board with Munster, still a lead car of the M2 class. There's this bit of side-by-side action. Micheletti and Pospisil with another 2 side-by-side, not too far behind. With Sloot just in front of this pack of 4. Side-by-side still is Pospisil and Micheletti. It's possible Pospisil looks to go on the inside. Lost a bit of traction, hitting a bit of curb. Let's jump on board with some of the GT2 cars now. There's Machado a little bit out in front, but Tulloch under pressure from Sharp. Let's come down into a heavy break in turn 18. Let's have a look what's going on a little bit further back. GT2 cars seem to have got out of the final corner. Right, a bit of battling going on in the background. Brocken and Gedman having a look side by side. Foot's flat, Gedman looking to have the inside line. Brocken on the racing line. Gedman goes on the inside, outbreaks himself, goes off track, and that puts Harvey all over the back. Oh, Brocken. Let's have a look what's going on a little bit further up. Machado and everyone seems to have a little bit more of a gap. So Lino is under a lot more pressure. So to jump on board with some of the M2 cars, battling out on track as well. Just having a look in the background, see what's going on. I think that's Gaiman. I think that's another GT2 car in the back of the Pacasia. So Machado with the fastest lap. Coming through the Varant chicane. Looks like Tulloch is under pressure from Sharp. So he's going to be the best on the brake coming down this tricky turn 18 out of 19, not too far behind. Drag race down to turn 2. Picking up a slipstream. Can he get closer? It looked like Telak was better. Straight line speed. I think Sharp may be a little bit better in the corners. Just have a look what else is going around on track with Nicky and Barnett scrapping it out down. What's coming down now into the Villeneuve? Still behind. A little bit further down. Let's have a look what's going on. The Micheletti is still under pressure for Pospisil. All over the back of him. Will he make anything of it coming down there with the GT2 car getting involved? We get through okay. To that for Pospisil. And a better line coming down into this corner for an overtake. A little bit too far back. He has a good drive out of that corner. A little bit closer. Is he? I think he will stay behind him coming down into these next couple of corners. The Pospisil and Micheletti out of the M2 cars look like the closest battle at the moment. With another GT... Oh, I thought it was the M2 car being Pospisil a little bit closer. So Machado still out in front with a 3-second lead. Barnett, Nicky and Gibino. Whoop. It looks like Gibino in the Maserati with a little bit skirmish on. With Brocken and Gateman. Oh, I think it's Harvey and Brocken. Sorry, it's Harvey. Looks on the inside. Comes out of the Villeneuve chicane. Okay, Brocken lost a bit of traction. Put Gateman all over the back of him. Just up in front, the Smets and Bogetto. Two Maserati scrapping it out. It's coming out of the Minerali. A bit closer to Tamburini, was just out in front. Smets in the middle. Whoop. A little bit too much of the curb going into that chicane. Gateman and Brocken a little bit closer now, so we'll just have a look what's happening with Tulloch and Sharp, but Tulloch coming into the pit. Sharp stays out. Some other GT cars behind. I think a little bit too fast back to try and make an overtake. So Smets, I think Brocken and Gateman are the GT2 cars are the closest ones, no? To try and jump on board with some of the M2 cars to see if Gateman can pull an overtake coming down to turn 2. I think he'll stay just behind. A little bit bouncy going over the chicane. Micheletti and Pospisil look to be scrapping for that second spot. Cossett is not too far behind. He'll pick up anything that these two. He'll pick up time if these two continue battling. Putting these three in some good battles. Pospisil still behind Micheletti. It looks like Tulloch is going to catch these cars up now. So to jump on board with Tulloch. So he manages to get past Cossett. Let's see how he gets past these two, scrapping it out. The Pospisil looks to go on the inside. Manages to get through okay with the lead car, Munster. It's just in front. He has a nice gap over Micheletti in second, scrapping it out with Pospisil not too far behind. I think it might have closed the gap up a little bit. It was about 3 seconds, 2.5, 3 seconds last time round. It might have just maintained the gap from Micheletti and Pospisil, scrapping it up, still in the back. And Pospisil a little bit too far back to do anything. Coming down into turn 18. Kazovic. Can you hold Brown off? And Brown may be a little bit too far back or not, maybe to make a move. Yeah, I think he's a little bit too far back. Micheletti and Pospisil scrapping it out. So Tulloch has made his pit stop. Oh, the car goes off track, I believe then. Of Harvey spinning in the background. Maybe a little bit too much curb. Progetto has the company of Smets not too far behind. Just keep an eye on Barnett and back at telemetry as well. Sharp gaining on Machado, the race leader of the GT2 car. Sharp is in second, right on his tail now. So jump on board with the race leader of the GT2 car. Class, son. Because they have a nice drag race coming out to turn 8. Peratella sweeping turn 10 down to the middle alley, stays in front. Drag race down into this tricky chicane. He done it right. He seemed to glide over it. So with an M2 car just up in front, cannot close the gap for Sharp to make anything of it, coming down into turn 2. The M2 car would not have impeded him. I think a couple of seconds slower, I think he would have. Machado extended his lead a little bit, I'm not sure, but we'll keep on board. I think that's Brown scrapping it out. But just getting out of the way. As Brown looks to go on the inside. Oh, there's a bit of a tap. Sharp manages to get through and takes the lead of the race for the GT2 cars. As Micheletti now is the leader for the M2 cars with, I believe, Munster into the pit. So Micheletti has Pospisil all over the back of him now. Coming down into Middle Alley. What can he do? Can he close the gap? I think he's been a little bit wider than Micheletti on that, gaining a little bit more speed coming to the corner maybe, does he? Hard on the brakes, both make the chicane. Such a jump on board with Parker and Barnett, getting held up by M2 cars. Barnett and Thacker, both in the Audis. Let's see who's going to be the best on the brakes. I do like an Audi, not gonna lie, on a GT2 car, I do like. Let's Thacker manages to get around that M2 car, no problem. Barnett be a little bit later on the brakes. Manages to close the gap slightly, putting Thacker under a lot more pressure now. As they're coming down into the Vilna chicane. This is going to be a tricky part of this track now to pass an M2 car. If you can get past them just before the next couple of corners. But you've got M2 car scrapping it out just in front as well of Pospisil and Micheletti. Can they get past these two scrapping it out? Micheletti and Pospisil are scrapping for race. For the race lead of the M2 cars, Micheletti is in front. Pospisil lost a little bit of time then doing so, but time can be gained or lost, especially in these races, mixed classes. As you can see, one of the cars manages to go, GT2 car manages to get off track, but what that do for Pospisil or Micheletti is too far back to make a move, with another GT2 car closing down, with Machado under a lot more pressure. Machado just under half a second. Drag race down into turn 2. We've got 15 minutes into the race, 30 minutes left. So 1/3 of the race is done, still got another 2/3. If I have a look with the green, that means you've made your pit stop. One still need to come in. So Machado and Sharp manages to get past okay. Thacker and Barnett are still scrapping it out. It looks like Barnett is all over the back of Thacker on this lap. With an M2 car just in front, braking points will change. Finally, okay, coming down into the Minerali. Let's have a look what's going on a bit further back with the M2 cars. A little bit of a breathing space there, but I think Pospisil's under pressure on the Cossett. Closed up a little bit more, so looking at till empty, everybody seems to have a little bit of a gap over one another, but the closest M2 car scrapping out on track is Pospisil, Micheletti and Cossett. Pospisil in the middle of the three of these, is in the middle of the three of them. It looks like Tamburini in the background. Gonna catch up this group of cars. Harvey had a bit of a spin, back on track. The Banner coming into the pit, Machado and Sharp still going for it. Ooh, it looks like Harvey is going to make a move on Tamburini. It looks like an M2 car is off the track. It's a bit of a curve, managed to stay on track. Harvey all over the back, and Micheletti is the car in front of the other two M2 cars behind of Pospisil and Cossett, with Harvey putting Tambrini under a lot of pressure for the race. For the race lead, you have Micheletti and Pospisil just in the background, a bit of a gap between them at the moment. We jump on board with them to see the outcome on this. Harvey stays behind. Micheletti is still in front of that group of cars. Oh. So Harvey manages to get past Tambrini. Tambrini hits a bit of the curb. It's hard braking zone with some other cars in the background. And what's going on out in front? The shadow is sharp, but still having it. So Micheletti is still out in front. I think that's Gateman passing the M2 cars. Bit of a gap between these three. Will that GT2 car hamper Micheletti in the front? He should pass okay. It looks like a GT2 car going off track. So Munster is the pole sitter out of the pit stops. So Munster has a nice lead over Pakistan in second out of the pit stop. Sloot is so with the pit stops. Munster has a nice lead over the next. With Machado still holding the fastest lap for the GT2 car. The Sharp in second, Brustilli in third. Munster crossing the line. Micheletti is still in front of these two. So Micheletti is there, Munster is there. Flipping out. Munster's there, Micheletti's there. Oh god, this is going to be tight, this is. Oh, pit stops. God, I think Sharp is a lot closer now. Machado, he's looking to go and attack him. And he takes him. After many laps stuck behind, he does manage to get past him down into turn 10 down to Minerali. Machado will let that go. He's going to be all over the back of Sharp. Sharp get a little bit of a lead on Machado. These two are scrapping it out. Machado doesn't get through the chicane as well as Sharp. Run down the last couple of corners. Machado will have a good slip stream off Sharp and put him under pressure coming down into turn 2. Machado still currently owns the fastest lap.
We're halfway through, not over yet.
The Sharp stays in front. Come down into the Villeneuve chicanes 5 and 6. Good overtaking spot, turn 7. To come out of the Villeneuve chicane, okay? Oh, Machado at the back out of that end. as these guys have been racing relentless since the start. Fair play to them. Just looking at telemetry, I thought Nicky and Pagetto was a little closer than that. Barnett and Lino making their pit stop, so these guys are out on track racing, but Sharp is still out in front for the GT2 cars. Who's going to come into the pits first out of these two? The pit stop is a fixed pit stop of 25 seconds. Tyre change is optional, you don't have to change tyres, but that'll take up to 30 seconds. Accumulate any damage up to if you want to repair it or not, but the minimum pit stop for this race will be 25 seconds. Machado coming into the pit. So Nicky under pressure from Pagetto. Maserati v Maserati. Barnett and Lino making their pits. There seems to be a little bit of a job getting past, but they managed to get past okay. Brown under pressure from Haggerty now. Coming down into this tricky chicanes, turn 14 and 15. Brown manages to get through there better than Haggerty, lost a lot of time doing so. So the guy still out in front is Micheletti, Hospital. The front two runners, Ukela currently in third spot. So the M2 cars is currently the leader out of it, with Micheletti, Pospisil, Ukela, Mattavelli still needing to make a pit stop. Machado comes out in 8th, with Sharp currently out in front with a 24.5 second gap over Nicky in second, with Smets in 3rd. Harvey in 4th, Gedman in 5th, Brocken in 6th, still needing to make their pit stop. Stop and go for Machado, that will help Sharp out a lot. He'll see that and will probably come straight into the pits knowing that he's going to be okay when he comes back out, with Nicky being 25 seconds behind. As one of the BMW cars goes a little bit off track. So you got the race leader, Kosat in second, Kazovic in 3rd currently as it stands for the M2 cars. Pospisil is in the pit, he's made his pit stop, he's coming out now. So we just jump on board with Munster coming around. Turns 19, foot flat now. Pospisil, where is Pospisil? I think Munster will win out of the pit stop just about. I think he'll have a bit more momentum and speed, as he does manage to get out just in front of Pospisil. Pospisil wouldn't mind that. He come in early. Anything could have happened though. But his pit stop and his consistent racing still out in front for the M2 cars. Pospisil is in second. The Sharp is still out on track with Gedman in second, still needing to make a pit. As you can see, some of the guys making pits now. So just having a look at the telemetry. Where is Sharp? I don't think it would matter much now for Machado. So Banvalino scrapping it. It's a bit too much curb going through the middle of chicane there. Lino may gain on that. Doesn't seem to have got a little bit closer. Stays where he is. Just looking a bit further down now is Kazovic and Keller. They're pretty close together on the scrap. Gonna have a good drive into Minerali and exit. You will gain on that drag race up into the tricky chicane, turns 14 and 15. Looks like Kayla has closed the gap and then slightly. Oh, it's hard across the chicane then. We just keep on board with Kayla. Can you outbrake him coming down there, especially with the GT2 car behind, looking to go on the inside. Klazovic is currently still in front. The GT2 car will pass these with ease. Zakela will still be behind him, coming down into turn 2. I think he's a little bit too far back. The Gedman leading away with the GT2 cars, with Sharp coming out. There's an M2 car right up his bumper. I think that was Micheletti in the background then. We got the race leader for the GT2 car and the M2 car side by side, coming down to Minerali now. The Sharp just getting in front. Tullock in the background. Gonna be hunting down Sharp. And Harvey, oh, I thought he'd a little bit closer with the telemetry. But, it's Kazovic as a company of a GT2 car on the inside. That might help Keller, not too far behind. I think our Stacker in the background with Harvey trying to make a way through as well. So Keller could gain or lose coming up into the chicane. Can the GT2 cars battling behind get through okay as well? Or Harvey will have to yield. Keller's going to lose out on that. Managed to get through okay. Close. Still on the track. Looks like Smets not too far behind. So Gedman is currently a race leader for the GT2 cars. Sharp is the pole sitter for the GT2 cars out of the pit stops. So Harvey is putting the car under more pressure. Oh, I thought he was, sorry, looked a bit different. He's going to stay behind him after this. As Harvey goes very hard on the brakes. Timberello flying down now to the Villeneuve chicane. Good drive out here under pressure, coming down into turn 7. Does he look? Nope. Goes to have a look, but doesn't. As Gedman is still out in front. Is Tullock in the background. And Gibino and Giappaggetto. And scrapping it out. Maserati v Maserati. Gibino making himself look big. He's going to be better on the brakes. Whoop. As he managed to hit a bit of the curb, I may have slowed Borgetto down, coming down into this tricky braking zone when you're racing. Getting on the racing line. It's easy to slide off track. Does he keep it on track? Stays in front. Could Gibino have a better drive out to turn 19? Drag race down turn 2. I think he's a little bit too far in front to make a move. 12 minutes left of racing. The Munster is still leading the way of the M2 cars. The BMW M2 cars, everybody is in the same car. But Gibino is putting Gibino is Gibino's putting Progetto under a lot more pressure with Thacker and Lino, it looks like, in the background as well, scrapping it out still. Just jump on board with these two now, coming up into this tricky braking zone, especially with an M2 car on the racing line. It's up to the GT2 cars to overtake. The M2 cars have priority of the racing line being the slower car, so the GT2 car has to make a pass safely and not impede the M2 cars by putting them off a track or hitting them, but it's going to be a bit tricky. Manages to get through okay, see, that's what I mean. The attacker is still scrapping it out. Down at the brake, turns 18. So, Kazovic and Kela are a lot closer now, scrapping it out, coming down into the next chicane. Is he going to have a look? Gedman's going to put him off, maybe? He managed to get through okay. Kela, and they both managed to get through okay. Kazovic holding him off. So Picanello is in last place, Surf 19, and some of the other racers a couple of laps down, but these guys do here with the empty, not a +1, still racing. Keller's going to be a little bit too far back on this outing, down into turn 2, but could he be a bit better on the brakes and put him under pressure with Thacker and Harvey? Close. Progetto and Gibino, a bit of a gap between M2, but out in front is Sharp, Talak in second, Postoli is in third. That is the podiums for the GT2 cars, and Munster currently on the top spot for the M2 cars. Micheletti in second, Possible so in third, currently rounding off the podium spots as it stands. With Thacker and Harvey still scrapping it out. Looks like it was an M2 car off track. But Harvey's a lot closer now, coming down this long, slight right, slight left turns, flat out, down into turn 2. Approaching some more M2 cars. We'll close the gap a little bit more. Gonna be a lot slower coming out of there, unless you can get past okay. Doesn't. So Harvey is all over the back of him now, down into Villeneuve chicane. Thacker manages to stay in front and cleared the M2 car as well. Litty Machado scrapping it out. I believe Machado has got in front of Litty. He's looking at Telemus, Machado getting past. Keller not too far behind. Walking this dude to Kazovic down into Villeneuve chicane. Close the gap. Runs a little bit wide. Keller, I think, will have the better racing line out to this corner. We're still stuck behind him. Just out in front, it looks like Gibino is under pressure from Progetto. Gets a little bit closer on the braking. Can he do anything in and out of this Venus chicane, especially with an M2 car in front? That's Machado. Feeling the pressure. Drive through. Oh, that's Gabino. Has got past Borgetto. Can Borgetto get back at him? He's catching up to another M2 car. That would have made him a lot slower in the Minerali. See the other GT2 cars not too far behind, looking for that braking point. That's one of them. Thacker manages to outbrake himself and hit too much of the curb in doing so. Oh, I don't know what happened then. 5.5 minutes left of racing. And Sharp is out in front. As he manages to get past Keller. Clears MOK, happy days. Just looking at the telemetry now. Let's have a look. Kazovic and Keller were the closest battle for the M2 cars. Just having a look to see what everybody is on track. So Gedman and Tamburini seem to be the closest ones. On a scrap out of the GT2 cars, and then you got Borgetto and Harvey. I think Harvey's closed on, I think it's Gabino, Barnett, no? Gabino, sorry, and Borgetto not too far behind with an M2 car getting in the way. Should clear it okay, but you got this M2 car just in front. Will be crossing the chicane. Does manage to get through, Harvey does. Tight, but Gabino is in front of this trio of cars with just under 4 minutes left of racing. The Harvey manages to get past their M2 car. Could be a little bit too far back to make a move. So Munster is currently out in front, but not too far behind is Micheletti and Pospisil. Anything can happen this late into the race, especially with flying GT2 cars still out on track. Looks like there is a bunch of M2 cars coming behind Munster. Micheletti will be under pressure from GT2 cars in the next couple of corners. Munster and Micheletti managed to make it through okay. So here come the GT2 cars not too far behind. Munster and Pospisil scrapping it out as they go side by side. Foot flat drag race down into turn 2 with, I believe that's Surfine team. Pospisil makes that move stick, gets in front of Micheletti. Does okay then. Manages to stay in front. With 2 minutes left of racing, and Sharp is your race leader for the GT2 cars as it stands. Looking at the telemetry, the closest battle on track is these guys for the GT2 cars. So Munster has Micheletti not too far behind, so any bit of a nick-up Micheletti could gain. But you still have the race leader for the GT2 cars catching the race leader of the M2 car again. So this is for the race lead for the M2 cars. The battle with Micheletti and Munster just in front of the race leader for the GT2 cars. As they're coming down into this tricky braking turn 18, nobody wants to give track position for the GT2 car. He manages to squeeze in the middle of these two, scrapping it out. Manages to get through okay. So Munster.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now.
So Munster is still currently your race leader for the M2 cars. Jet and Harvey are the closest ones of the GT2 cars, but your race leader, Sharp, with Tulloch in second, Bushtully in third. That's your podium place spot as it stands at the moment. It looks like Gabino, I think it was. I think and Barnett scrapping it out on the final lap. They've got a lot closer. So these are scrapping it out for position. Munster and Micheletti scrapping it out. Sharp coming down the Minerali. These three still scrapping it out. Micheletti all over the back of Munster for the M2 cars. Micheletti gets a lot closer to Munster. Drag race up into this chicane. Turns 14 and 15. All over the back of Micheletti is now. Up as Micheletti goes for a spin. Looks like your race winner will be Adam Sharp for the GT2 cars, with Tulloch under a lot of pressure from Bushtully to fight for the second spot. I think Tulloch will end up in second place and Bushtully in third. So Barnett and Bogetto and Gabino, oh no, sorry, Bogetto, Harvey and Harvey looking to go on the inside now of Thacker. Whoa. All scrapping out as Harvey goes wide. Thacker, oh shit, sorry. As Harvey is just in front of these three cars, scrapping it out. Comes home in second place. Munster across the line in first. Let's have a look at who else is scrapping out on track. That's all the cars coming in. Whoop. Gedman crossing the line in 11th. I think that's Lippy not too far behind then. Or Tomberini, sorry. Some of the other M2 cars still out on track. Oh. Just wait for all the rest of the field to come through across the line. So, that is the end of round 4 at Imola on a Thursday. GT2 M2 cars. Whoop, again. And on top spot is Sharp after completing 26 laps of the 46 minute. Vitalik in second, Bristoli in third, Gabino in fourth, Harvey in fifth, Progetto in sixth, Back in seventh, Smet in eighth, Barnett ninth, Lino in 10th, Gedman 11th, Litti in 12th, Nicky in 13th, Machado the fastest lap in 14th, Brocken 15th, Tamburini in 16th. So that's the finish of the GT2 cars with Munster, picking up another win with 46.16 with 23 laps made, 3 less than the GT2 cars, with Pospisil in second, Cosette in third, Micheletti in fourth, Kazovic in fifth, Keller sixth, Brown in seventh, Sloot in eighth, Agati in ninth, Mattavelli in 10th, Gaiman in 11th, Pacasia 12th, Sebastian in 13th, Serpentine in 14th, Picanello in 15th. So that is the end of round 4, and we are Formula Racing League on a Thursday. GT2, GT2 M2 cars, sponsored by Ashley Gunning Downer as your sponsor for the rest of the season. Up next we'll have Watkins Glen in America, and that is your race for tonight, morning or afternoon, wherever you are around the world. And I shall see you all next week at Watkins Glen. Good racing, guys. Keep it up.